to share with you what has happened thereafter. I'm going to welcome our Chief Officer in Advanced Manufacturing, Mr. Tamsanga Giane, who is going to take you through, some content on Transnet engineering. And I'm going to ask that if you've got questions, you write them down. We are going to open the stage for him to answer the questions. Mr. Tamsanga Giane.
Ministers and deputy ministers present, various captains of railway entities present here, colleagues in the railways and the ports, ladies and gentlemen, members of the media, a good morning to all of you. We've chosen to do this session differently today. We've been boring you with various launches in the last 3 years and a bit. Today we said let's take time just to make sure that you are all aware of who Transnet Engineering specifically is. So we are going to take you through a journey of who we are and what we do as an organization. To start off, those of you who are aware, the average fleet age in Transnet 7 years ago was about 45 years, specifically when it comes to locomotives. But we still managed to get availability and reliability above 75%. And how did we get that right? Colleagues, we got that right because we engineer through maintenance and services. Maintenance and services is one of our key strengths. We've got over 100 years of experience in rolling stock maintenance. We also support various railways across the continent with maintenance and services to make sure that we sweat the assets that we've bought in the continent and that we keep the railways running. We've got various systems that help us do maintenance the way we do it. In terms of engineering around maintenance, we provide various expertise as it relates to ensuring that we cater for the total cost of ownership of all these assets. We manage the life cycle costs and we make sure that they are always affordable for most of our customers. We've got specialists, maintenance engineers in our facilities who make sure we've been working on these various equipment for many years, and we also provide various training technologies for that, and it's something we will obviously talk about later, but we believe that it's not in every railways that we need to be investing in new infrastructure and new rolling stock. Maintenance has to be a key component of what we do to make sure that the railways that we operate run the way they're supposed to, the ports that we manage, they run the way we're supposed to. I am fully aware that the honorable ministers in front of me have got time limitations. I'm going to try and move a bit quick. Just to bring a bit of context, we talk about a crude wake-up call for all Africans. Donald Trump has continued, and I quote him, he says, our politicians have aggressively pursued a policy on globalization, moving our jobs as Americans, our wealth, and our factories to Mexico and overseas. We are going to bring back manufacturing to the United States. What does this mean for Africans? It means us as Africans, we must also come together and unite. What does uniting Africa means? Uniting Africa means that we integrate our economies and supply chains. We create supporting economies, complementary economies, as opposed to competing economies in the continent. We make sure that infrastructure that we own is well maintained, that we support entities in the African continent that are into rolling stock manufacturing and that are into infrastructure support. Most importantly, when we talk about life cycle management, cannot do it without skills development. We've got various schools in Transnet. On average, at any given year, we've got about 6,000 people in our various schools. We've got a school of maritime, we've got a school of rail, we also have a school of engineering. We need to make sure that we create an economy in Africa that is inclusive. When we talk about growth in the continent, it has to be inclusive growth. We cannot afford to have some of us colonizing the rest in terms of technology in the continent, but we need to make sure that we have an economy that works. We create one integrated economy in the continent with funding frameworks that are supporting of the environment and the countries that we are in, because everywhere you go, people will tell you about issues around ratings and so on. And most importantly, specifically to the ministers and deputy ministers here present, we need to talk about the elephant in the room, the issues around policy and legislation. We need to create an enabling environment, an environment that creates confidence in investments in this continent. But it's not all doom and gloom. I also want to tell you, as you may be aware, that we are doing our part as transit engineering. We are doing our part in terms of innovations and research and development. The Trans-Africa locomotive, which was launched by our Honorable President, Mr. Jacob Zuma on the 4th of April 2017, is a proud development of our own. As Transnet, we've been able to take an African child to the moon through this innovation. We've made sure that the partners we work with and various innovations that support this locomotive are African solutions, and we are proudly saying it's an African solution designed by Africans for the use by other Africans. As we continue, we don't only do locomotives, we also provide various rolling stock solutions. We provide various freight wagons, we do tank wagons, we do various LPG wagons, we do gondola wagons, amongst others.